So there is a word that I don't like to use, and usually when I use it, I cut myself back and I kind of like to rephrase it. And the word is hate. But I have to say that I kind of rejoice when I say that word, especially referencing to my high school or my elementary school, because I really hate elementary school and my high school. And why? So I didn't learn about that word until a couple of years ago when people start talking about bully and bully here, and this person was bullied and the other person was being bullying, or was, everything we know about bully. And the reason that I hate the elementary school and the high school was because I myself was a victim of bullying. And it took me to a really, really dark path in my life. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about bullying. But before I do that, I want to give you the definition of bully. And this definition is coming from the National Center Against Bullying. So this is something serious and something good, and it's a very interesting topic and a very serious topic because there have a lot of people that lost their lives because they had been bullied. They had been, or we have a lot of people psychologically screwed up because they had been bullied. So the definition of bully is an ongoing and deliberate misuse of power and relationships through repeated verbal, physical, or social behaviors that intended to cause physical, social, and or psychological harm, and it can involve an individuals or groups misusing their power or perceiving power over one or more persons who feel unable to stop what is happening. Bullying can happen in person or online via various digital platforms and devices, and it can be obvious, overt, or hidden cover. Bullying behaviors is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. For example, through sharing digital records. And we have seen in the news that people had been molested or had been threatened by pictures, records, and all these things that can screw with people's life. So I'm gonna share about my story, and I think that it portrays a little bit of what we are talking today. And the reason that I'm doing this is because some of my clients had been experiencing bullying at high school or at some point in their lives. And it's very serious. And those guys, the people that perform it are the bulliers. I just can't tolerate them. So I was about 5 years old when I first experienced my first bullying. So I was adopted, and I am coming from a very simple and simple background, and I didn't have the clothes that my neighbors were having, and usually they were second-hand clothes, and my friends, colleague friends, or the guys that were in pre-K with me, they made fun of me because of my clothes. Because my clothes didn't fit well, or because they were smaller, or because they have holes or whatever, and they laughed at me. I didn't understand that. But when I was in elementary school, the bully kept happening because it became so bad. They were calling me that I was not being with my parents because I was adopted. So they made fun of that situation. They really hurt me because they say, oh, those are not your parents. You shouldn't be in here. Seriously? And that's what you tell a 7-year-old kid in elementary school? And sometimes even the teachers say nothing, nothing. Oh, just eat it up and move forward, move on. No, we are not able. A kid in that age is not able to digest such a thing. They don't. But the most miserable time for me was high school. High school. I laughed when my former classmate said, oh my gosh, I miss high school. And I cried the day of graduation, but I cried overjoyed because I didn't want to come back again, and I knew that was over. So I didn't cry because I was going to miss anyone or because I was going to miss high school. I cried because I was so happy that I was not going to go through that again. And I did. It was a genuine tears of joy because my big accomplishment was not graduating from high school. My biggest accomplishment was that I was going through for 6 long years of my life and I didn't have to see my classmates again. As a confession. And I am so proud of that. Sorry. Why? First day, I'm coming from a countryside, very tiny village, and I'm coming from a very tiny elementary school. I think it was about 16 to 8 kids in high school. So I'm coming to the town, which everybody knew everybody there, except for the guys who were coming from the countryside, from the villages. And it was the time, the first time I met a black person, which happened to be we call rector or the principal of the school. And we were in a classroom of 60 kids. I was overwhelmed, I was numb. I said, what is going on in here? I was so ashamed because everybody were well dressed, not me, and it was not good. So I was trying to hide, I was trying not to talk to anyone. It was like that kid that I was like this. Don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. So comes this big guy, black guy with an accent. I was so afraid. I was so afraid. I was not paying attention. And the first thing he asked is, please, all the women stand up. Guess what? Yes. Carlos stand up along with the women to see what was going on because I didn't understand what happened. That day started my worst time in high school. They start calling me names, they start calling me a woman, they start calling me a faggot, they start calling me all the names. Every single day of high school. I was about to kill myself at some point. When I come back to home, I was complaining to my parents, and their answer of my parents was, eat it up, do it. When I was in 9th grade, I was about to quit high school. But then I started talking to myself and I said, is that the life that you want? A quitter? I didn't know. I didn't have the tools to cope. I didn't have friends to talk about it. We didn't have the resources that now kids have to go and say, this is happening. We didn't have a counselor or a psychologist. No, it was us. It was me trying to survive. Trying to just imagine myself as a better person. Trying to see what can I do with my life. So when I was in 10th grade, I became this guy that started standing by myself or for myself. Not in a good way, because I turned myself violent. And yet, when I turned myself violent, I was the villain. I was the bad guy. I was the bad kid that no one wanted. Oh, my neighbors, oh, this is the trouble kid. Even my parents, my father was so upset. And the way that he punished me was making me wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go and milk the cows with him. That was the way that he was forming the man in the house. You need character. That's gonna give you discipline. Yes, actually, I'm grateful for that. It really gives me a lot of discipline, but also start forming some kind of resentfulness. People that have experienced bullying in their lives, they start having resentfulness in their hearts against the guy or the woman or whoever performed the bully, and against themselves, because sometimes we just started thinking about, was it my fault? And you start having this feeling of shame. And there is nothing worse than feeling shame. Because for those who don't know what is the difference between shame and guilt, it's like shame, I am something wrong. There is something wrong with me. I am defective. This is not there is no redemption for me. And then there is guilt, which is I did something wrong. But for me, it was like the mix of both. I did something wrong because I stand up along with the women when I didn't supposed to do it, and then I am something wrong because everybody rejects me, especially not everybody, I have to say, 2 or 3 guys, the bulliers in the school, those guys who think that they are the kings in this high school or in the school, the guys who think that they are better, all the guys that everybody come in the room and they are the life of the party. But sometimes there is something wrong with them. It's not something wrong with the people that they take advantage. And as I said in the beginning, it's abuse of power. They feel power and they take advantage, and they just go after guys who feel vulnerable. And I was feeling vulnerable because I don't have anyone to stand up for me, and I was not able to stand up for myself. And if you allow that to get into your heart, to get into your behavior, to get into your daily life, you can get so much frustrated, and you can start creating a mentality of a loser. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Because someone that creates a mentality of loser never get into the path of success. Never. At least you recognize that early on, or you are able to go to therapy and you have a life coach, someone that discover or help you to discover yourself as a better man and also as a better woman. You need to do that. It's those cheerleaders that we encounter in our lives. But I didn't encounter any cheerleader in high school or in elementary school. I start encountering those people right after. People that didn't know me, but people that start knowing my story. And that's what we need. We need to start knowing the story of the person that experienced bullying. And that's how you help the person to re-encounter with themselves. Because when you don't know who you are and you don't know where you're coming from, you get lost. And I was about to get lost. Because at some point I was embarrassed of where I was coming from. I was ashamed, saying, oh, I am poor. I don't have resources. I won't be able to accomplish my dreams. But then you start opening your eyes, not in this direction, but 360. You can go around, you can turn around, and you see the whole world. And that's what life is about. It's the whole world. It's the circular. See, you can see different possibilities, and you don't get stuck with the vision and the mentality of the people that put in your thoughts that you are not good enough. Because bullying, that's what it does to people. it puts into your mentality, into your behaviors, into your heart, into your reason that you are not good enough, that you are not built to be successful, that you're not built to go after your dreams. And I don't know, I'm so happy and grateful, especially through my faith, because my faith helped me to accomplish that. My faith was the one who pushed me into the right direction. My faith was the one who told me that I was better than the little kid coming from the small village with a second-hand cloth, a used cloth. That was what helped me, my faith. For other people, it might work differently. You know, you had your friends, but also you had to look, who are your friends? What kind of friends do we have? Are also friends with this mentality of dreamers, people that want to do something better with their lives, or the friends that think that what we have is enough and that's it. That can be also a very dangerous way of thinking and a very dangerous way of living our lives. So if you are experiencing bullying, if you are a victim of someone that exercised power over you and made fun of you and rejected you and made you feel miserable, stand up, not in a violent way. First, look for help. Talk to someone. Now we have so many resources. You go to Google, you go and find resources against bullying. There are some resources. Actually, there is a website. I hope I will be able to put it there for those who are experiencing bullying, because bullying can kill people. And there is a lot of, one of the sadness things that I did when I was a priest, or when I was I need to correct this. I still be a priest. I just don't exercise ministry publicly. But when I was exercising public ministry, I did a funeral of someone that killed themselves because this person suffered bullying in school with their friends. And this person was not able to move on and to look for help. When we are not able to look for help, we run out of options. And sometimes we just have one option. When we are able to seek for help, we have more possibilities, we have more options, we have more choices. And that is what's gonna help us to overcome bullying and all the obstacles that we can face in our lives. So please, if you are one of those who are suffering being bullied, seek for help. Call someone, tell someone, share your pain, share your story, and it's gonna help you so much to cope. And if you are the one who are performing the bully, just think about that you are ruining someone's life, that you are destroying someone's dreams, and that is not worth it just for the sake of laughing or having fun because someone is having a miserable time. We cannot laugh and we cannot have a good time because another person's pain and another person's difficult situations. Life is not about that. Life is about helping each other, reaching out for someone else that needs the help. It's not pushing down anyone else. It's not pushing down anyone's dreams. It's not pushing down anyone's life. So please, let's be kind. Let's love one another and help one another. All right? As always, I am so grateful for those who are watching these videos. I intend these videos to be motivational, and I intend these videos to touch at least one person's life in one way or the other. So share these videos, hopefully as a tool of inspiration, as a tool of resource as well. Uh, Share those videos, subscribe to my channel also as a way for me to be able to keep spreading these words, to keep reaching out to other people. Maybe you don't know me, maybe you don't know my story, but if you keep watching me, you will see my story. And this is not just something that I read, that is something that I experience, that is something that I see in my ministry or that I saw in my ministry. It's something that I see in my daily life. So I think that it's important that you and I make that connection so important. So let's build this relationship, share, make comments, make suggestions, and I'll be able to answer all the questions and suggestions that you might have. Let's get to the 1,000 subscribers. I think that's the goal for these 2 months. 1,000 subscribers, that will make the difference in many people's life. And as always, stay healthy, be healthy, and help someone to be healthy. See you soon.